Speaking of memorized, are you going to go over everything that everyone has memorized you saying at this point when you talk about how they can support the podcast?
Sure. Actually, I'm going to go I'm going to go in at a different angle. I'm going to say, speaking of peer pressure, because this is really what it is. This is a group. You peer pressure me, you peer pressure everyone else who listens. We collectively peer pressure each other. And this is what we're doing. We're working out. There's no reason not to work out.
No.
Today. Nowadays. Not, I mean, this day, today. Yeah, today could be your rest day.
But you should work out today, too.
You should have, yes.
Yeah.
You should. Later, even, if you haven't already. Anyway, this is what we're doing. We're working out.
Yes.
If we have weight to lose, we know if we're overweight. We do. Even if we're like 5 pounds overweight. Think of like your ideal weight. Like, think of that. If you're not
750 pounds. That's my ideal weight. Go. When you roll with someone that's massive,
yeah,
and you think, I wish I was this massive. I wish I was, 450 pounds, because then you would just smash everyone.
Yeah, but that might get in the way in other aspects of life. Like, if you're 450 pounds, that would mean what? How tall? Like, what, 6'8"?
No, I would want to be like 8'9".
Yeah, okay, so surfing is going to be an issue for you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so kind of say goodbye to your current knowledge or your current schema of surfing.
Okay.
Say goodbye to that.
Good point.
That's just one thing, man.
Good point.
There's other things. So you're just thinking jiu-jitsu wise? I understand.
Jiu-jitsu and just MMA. Well, you'd be out of the weight classes, though.
Yeah, yeah. So you'd have to fight in these weird offshoots, whatever. I'm just saying, look at the big picture.
I'll just be what I am.
Actually, you know what, bro? 750, do you, bro? If you want to be that big, that's your ideal weight, you go with that. Don't listen
750 pounds,
yeah,
8'10".
And that's really the point. The point is, you know your ideal weight. You do, not me. You know, I don't have an ideal weight for you. Maybe I do, but it serves my interest.
You want me to weigh 122 pounds.
Yes, exactly right. And be less mentally strong. But for everyone else, we all know how much we want to weigh, or whatever. So this is what we're doing: peer pressure. We're going to do that. We're going to pursue that. We're working out. We are getting control of our ego, temper, and other various weaknesses. Also, to facilitate that, we're taking krill oil. If our joints are sore, that's what we're doing. We're problem solving. Ultimately, it's just one big problem solving thing. So look, joints are sore, krill oil. Boom, joints not sore anymore. Move to the next thing. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, krill oil. From Onnit, you want 10% off the krill oil. Save money. Financial discipline equals financial freedom. Boom. We'll kind of put that right in the whole equation. Go to onnit.com/Jocko, 10% off. And support the podcast. We're all on this thing together kind of thing, Mm-hmm. Other stuff on Onnit. I took some new mood today.
Interesting.
I'm not necessarily in a new mood. I think I'm in the same mood, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more just, balancing out your whole stuff.
Yeah.
I just took it because it was there. And
that's the kind of thing that I won't take.
You don't want to be balanced,
no,
huh? You want to be unbalanced.
I want current mood.
Yeah, I'm
current mood. What if you're feeling angry? Good. Then I'm good to go.
I'm fairly certain it's for brain health, and I think the new mood part of it is more of like a kind of a happenstance kind of cool thing, like, Anyway.
Maybe.
I took some of that. I have some of that. I'm down for that. There's a bunch of other stuff. Performance stuff, So if you're like, hey, I'm getting after it, I want performance supplementation, that's what we're doing too. We're doing all this stuff as a group. So is Jocko, our current leader.
I think this is a group without a leader.
Until someone tells him to stop, then we're all stopping. Anyway, also, good way to support. And this is to support yourself and support the group, really, because, so these books, all these books, we read these books. Sure, we listen to Jocko go over it, and it's dope, but, you want to get the book. If you want to get the book and read the whole thing.
I'm reading less than 10% of the books.
Yeah.
5%.
It's like a book report.
Although I might have gone a little bit crazy with Sydney Cherry last week.
Yeah.
I just want to do it just full on audiobook. Just start and I'll stop 7 hours later.
Yeah,
only at 3.5.
Yeah, that's it. So
got some good lessons though.
Yeah, they're all good lessons.
How many people see, podcasts 3 hours and 27 minutes and go, come on, Jocko.
Come on, yeah.
And how many people? No, actually, you know what they say? Come on, Echo. You talked about supports for 2 hours and 27 minutes. Come on.
Brad, it's not my fault. It's the machine. I just did a small little
Guilty.
part.
Guilty.
Anyway, if you want the books, or one, or whatever, our website, jockopodcast.com, there's a section, a page, if you will. Menu on the top says books from podcast. Boom, click on that. Click through there. Take you to Amazon. Purchase the book. That's a good way to support. And you get the book. Boom. Also, yeah, if you're going to do any other shopping on there, hey, feel free. That's a good way to support in a solid way. And that's what we're all doing. Straight up.
See, so now you're throwing this real heavy peer pressure on everyone.
Yeah, but this is good peer pressure. You said good peer pressure is good.
Well, that is good because we're not. You're just helping. The podcast doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly right. Boom. And that's what we're doing. What we're doing is subscribing. What were you going to say?
I was going to say continue talking.
All right, there you go. I will. And so subscribe to the podcast. That's what we're all doing. I'm subscribed to the podcast that I'm on.
Yeah, well, obviously.
So we're all going to do it. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Also on YouTube, subscribe to that one. That's a good one.
That's where you make all those videos.
All the videos.
You told me you're doing 3 videos a week now.
Yeah, man.
That's so far I have not seen that.
Nah, 3 a week.
Is this in the future?
Podcast video format. That
You're
counts.
counting?
Yes, I'm
Come
counting.
on.
It counts.
So you're doing 1 podcast video and
then 2 excerpts.
2 excerpts.
Minimum is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's kind of
So we should have a lot of excerpts up there.
Yeah, they grow every week. So the benefit to those.
By the way, you need to make your excerpts shorter.
Why?
Because they're too long. A 12-minute excerpt's not even an excerpt. That's just another podcast. That's the same. That goes back to the same problem.
It's essentially an
alternate. You know what you need
version.
to do? Edit them.
Yeah.
Get the meat.
Dang, that's a good.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Amazing, isn't it? Should just be like, boom. Someone should be able to listen to it in 30 seconds and be like, oh, I got the deal here.
Yeah. So
the problem is with you is you enjoy the arc of the conversation.
Yeah, see,
if people want to hear the arc of the conversation, they just listen to the whole podcast.
Maybe I've been hanging around with you too long, because last week the way you were feeling, you couldn't edit out just that whole 45 minutes of whatever. Same thing. You get into it.
Yeah.
So part of that is a joke, but part of it is a series. So you know how I'm listening to your whole little segment. And I'm going to cut it, right? I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to cut it right here. And then your little follow-up comment is cool. And then maybe I say something, which is like, whatever. I can cut myself out easily. But then your follow-up to me is kind of cool. I'm like, hey, that's important too. I should leave that part. And so it just turns into this thing.
12-minute excerpts.
Sometimes. Whatever. That only happens one time.
Those are Jocko McHalf chicken nuggets. Jocko McChicken breasts with thigh and leg.
Yeah. They're not McNuggets anymore, no. Actually, they are, but, that's an exception. Sometimes they're 12 minutes. Hey, man, they're 12 minutes
The
sometimes.
other thing we could do is I could actually reshoot, re-record just the pertinent parts if you can't edit it out without, feeling bad.
That's a step backwards, I think.
I'm just making sure.
It's repetitive, Anyway, that's a good way to support. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Boom. Shareable stuff on there in the event of the excerpts not being 12 minutes, in the event of them being 3 minutes or so. You can share them. More shareable.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I saw it was like right after I posted it, and then I think he was like, I don't know, I think Brady maybe, he shares it, and then I watched it. So I mean, that's how shareable it is. I just posted it, he shared it, and I watched it.
You did it, cut it, edited it. Yeah. Posted it, and then got shared back to you, and you still watched it.
Yeah, well, technically it wasn't shared to me directly. Actually, technically
were you
it was.
Admiring your own work? No. You're like, that's such a good excerpt.
No. Yes. So good how I cut the beginning and the end of that. Anyway.
I pressed stop and start. Wow.
Anyway, subscribe to YouTube. That's the point. That's what we're doing. Also, Jocko has a store. It's called Jocko Store. JockoStore.com. So, what's on here is clothing items, if you will. New shirt out. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what we're doing. We're wearing Jocko Podcast shirts. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing.
The peer pressure is thick today,
Bruh,
bro.
I'm telling you, it's good peer pressure. Look, see this shirt Jocko's wearing right now.
Even
See
this has
shirt?
become a Jocko Podcast shirt because we now manufacture a Victory MMA and Fitness t-shirts to stay old school.
It's the Jocko uniform.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That shirt's on jockostore.com. This shirt that I'm currently wearing, jockostore.com. In fact, all the shirts are on jockostore.com.
A guy at the muster had this t-shirt on in the morning
respect.
PT. And at first I was like, just like, oh man, somebody's...
shit, Victory guy.
And then I was like, oh, even cooler. He's not a Victory guy, but he's representing.
Representing, That's all. That's what we're doing. Representing big time. And I'm not saying buy a shirt. I never say buy a shirt. I'm saying jockostore.com, check it out. If you like one or more of the items on there, including but not limited to shirts, get something. There's also rash guards, hoodies. Kind of, I got to replenish those, I understand. But some rash guards on there. And
the next hoodies are going to be thick and heavy, Alaskan style.
Okay.
Minnesota style.
You know what I was thinking of?
Montana style. Not
Hawaii style.
Kauai style.
Dang. Okay.
Kauai, not Kauai style.
Or we could have both, because look, you can't exclude the Kama'aina. You know what Kama'aina means? It means
the people.
Technically, when you think about it, Aina means land, so people of the land.
Yeah. I got a pretty good guess right there, didn't I?
There you go.
Aina.
So anyway, you can't neglect those folks.
Okay.
They're cool
Well,
folks.
we need to make
They
a
get after
Hawaii
it.
style one and a northerner style one.
Yeah, the two sides of the spectrum.
Thick.
Everybody wants to represent, or that's what we're all doing, representing. Anyway, some rash guards on there. Like I said, what I was gonna say is, Jocko has a shirt, and we mentioned it before. Jocko has a shirt now. Well, technically, he designed a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Varying levels of acceptance on my end.
Yeah, it's the Echo shirt. Some people call it the dang shirt, but it's the Echo shirt. There's some layers there. You might be able to figure them out.
Technically, there's more layers on this shirt than any other shirt.
This
really?
might be the most layered shirt. The fact that I made it is a layer in its own right.
It is, I think. But my evaluation is it's interesting. It was actually impressive. The design is impressive, like the layers and stuff. Anyway, designed exclusively by Jocko.
So now I'm a fashion designer too.
Yes, correct.
Artist, fashion designer.
Yep.
Who would have thunk? I'm neither.
Technically, you're both.
No, I'm not.
Technically.
I'm not either.
Anyway, that one's on there right now. Right this very moment. That one's on there if you want to check it out. I'm not saying to buy it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying check it out.
I think this shirt's going to be popular with your head on it. By the way, it has Echo's head on it because there's a layer you
got to see it.
Yeah, you got to see it.
Yeah,
No, what I'm saying is somebody that like doesn't want to just be forthcoming. Like, for instance, a lot of the shirts that we have that have layers to them, you don't know exactly what, like, know the darkness, right? No one knows what the hell that has to do with.
Yeah.
The Jocko Podcast shirt, the one that says Jocko Podcast on it, okay, we know there's some layers there, but it's also pretty forthcoming what it means.
Yeah.
The shirt that I made for you with your head on it, no one's gonna have any idea what that is. It's so people automatically have some good layers there just by wearing that.
Right.
It's not no one's gonna have any idea what this is.
Yeah.
Why is that human's head on your chest?
You're saying external people.
Yes.
Like people who aren't in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People in the game, they're going to get the whole thing, and they're going to be like, holy God, Jocko is
It's
on
like if you listen to a band and you have a shirt that doesn't say the band name on it, but it's got the album cover.
Yeah.
And people know. People that know. People that listen know. Right?
They know.
If they listen, they know. Same thing with this shirt. If they don't listen, they're not going to know.
Yeah.
If they listen, you're going to get cred. Street
cred.
All right.
But yeah, that's a good one. Anyway, jockostore.com. That's a good one. That's what we're doing. Also, what we're doing straight up is in the moments of weakness that we may or may not have. Some of us have them more than others. But what we do is we turn to psychological warfare. If you don't know what that is, this is what it is. Psychological warfare is an album with tracks.
With tracks.
Dig it. And These tracks, what they do is they give you a spot with any weakness or weak moments you have. So if you're waking up early every single day and that one day comes or whatever that you're like, dang, that alarm, or that my bed is extra comfy, maybe I'll sleep in. You don't want to have slept in, but that's how you feel at that moment of weakness. Play one of the tracks. Wake up and get after it. I don't use that particular track. I use the workout one, so it's different. But it'll help you through. It'll give you that spot. Just like when and I said this before, and this makes perfect sense. This is what we're doing. Hey, when we jump onto the bench and we take on lofty challenges on the bench press, we're going to grab a guy to spot us. Not to say he's going to touch the bar, not to say any of that, but we have a lofty challenge. So we got the spot to ensure our success. So to me, if you're not doing anything, if you're not pursuing anything, then this isn't for you. You just got to get up and at whatever time you get up and go to whatever you do, come home, do your thing, which is cool. That's not what we're doing though. So I say, while we do our big things, we're going to get our spot. It's called psychological warfare. I'm not even saying to use it. I'm saying, but if you need it, you got it to ensure your success.
It's okay. That's good. Thank you. Appreciate that one.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, thankfully. Hey, also, you can get Jocko white tea on Amazon. Get some if you want some. Also, originmain.com. If you're getting into jiu-jitsu or if you're into jiu-jitsu already and you need a gi or a rash guard, I recommend you go to originmain.com. It's my brother Pete Roberts up there in Maine where they make everything, which is awesome. They weave the fabric, sew it, stitch it, embroider it, send it out. Gis, rash guards, shorts, made in America. And yes, we are getting in league with Origin Maine. So there's a little bit of a perfect storm kind of brewing. Got somebody that makes something in America, something that I like.
In your neck of the woods too, by the way.
In my neck of the woods. So we're getting on the warpath with Origin Maine, and we're going to get after it. So check them out. Then Way the Warrior Kid. Make a kid's life better. Get him or her this book so they can get better, faster, stronger. And before you give it to them, little advice, read it yourself. Uncle Jake has something for all of us. That's for sure. Also, Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. I brought like a rough copy. I forget what there's some name that they call this. I've published. This will be my third book I published. I still don't understand the publishing. Like, they have certain words and stuff. They use terms.
Sure.
And
jargon.
Say, we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I say, what does that mean? But this is the book. This is the book inside the cover. So a couple things. Does this have a flashy cover that's going to attract, people to buy it? No, it doesn't. It's got an all black cover, flat. That's what it's got. Is it got some interesting fluff in there for you to feel good about yourself? No, that stuff's not in there either. Does it have these incredible life hacks that are going to teach you how to rise and fulfill your dreams through simple things that you can do? No, those aren't in there either. It's called the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. It's about discipline, and if you follow it, you're going to find freedom. Pretty simple. There you go. If you're on YouTube, there's the book right there. Oh, what does it look like? Hard to see against the black background because it's black.
Yeah. It's not so you can see the cover. That's not what the book's for.
No. Although the cover does kind of.
You can see it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty dope, to be honest.
That's that. You can order. That comes out October 17th. The assumption is you might want to order it now so you get a copy when it first comes out. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, people will have discipline before you. And that's not going to work out good for you. Extreme ownership, of course, you have it. By the way, you have it. That's good, but get it for your team because that'll make your life easier. If you want to do that, we also have Echelon Front Consulting, me, Leif Babin, JP Donnell, Dave Burke. Get your team aligned so your leadership can crush your enemies. And by the way, don't try and book us through a speaker's agent, if you know what that is. If you know what that is, don't do it. Don't look online and find our literary agent and try and book. Don't do that. We have a company. It's called Echelon Front. Book through the company, info@echelonfront.com. Email that. That's how you get us to come and work with your company. The muster, we just got done with one. The next one is September 14th and 15th in San Diego. It is going to sell out. This is factual. It is going to sell out. It is factual. It is going to sell out because all three of the first ones have sold out. This one's going to sell out too. Register. Go to extremeownership.com if you want to come to it. If you don't want to come, stay at home. That's fine too.
Cool.
Whatever. Also, if you train jiu-jitsu or if you don't train and you want to start training, speaking of Origin, Maine, we're doing the Origin Immersion Jiu-Jitsu camp up in Maine. Echo and I are going to be there training and cruising super hard. We'll be there the last day of the first session and the first day of the second session. The sessions are August 20 through 23rd for the first session and 24th through the 27th for the second session. Come on up. We're going to be there if you want to train some jiu-jitsu. It's going to be a good time. And what I like about it is that the muster is a tight schedule. From 4 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, we're moving. Mm-hmm. This thing, we're going to do what? 5 hours, 6 hours of jiu-jitsu a day?
Sure.
And then the rest of the time, what are we going to do with the other 18 hours a day?
Yeah. You're saying total, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at lunch, 2 hours in the afternoon. Yeah. I mean, maybe not training the whole time, but learning new moves.
Jiu-jitsu, yes.
Doing jiu-jitsu, showing, like, hey, can you go over this with me? Hey, I got a question for you. Hey, Echo, can you teach me that mount escape that you got? Like, whatever. those things that we're going to do. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
So that's 6 hours. And then we sleep for 4 hours, so that's 10 hours. That's 14 hours. This is 14 hours going to be just walking around in circles going, BTF. No, that's what we're going to do is we're going to hang out. So if you want to come, train some jiu-jitsu, hang out, come to that camp up in Maine. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time up there. And until then, we'll be rolling in another place. Victory MMA, yes. Also, we'll be rolling on the interwebs. The Twitter, the Instagram, and that Facebook. Echo is at Echo Charles, and I am at Jocko Willink.